teaching of the Buddha. Because sometimes I like recently I was talking to a Dharma sister, and then she's sharing with me one of the very famous, quite famous, is more on contemplation of mind. Yes, it's good to do contemplation of mind in our daily life, but sometimes it's also good to go to the body first. Because for foundation, mindfulness means on your body, on your feeling, rather than the mind, then the Dhamma. All right, so body, feeling, mind, and Dhamma. Because if we just go for the mind, then is mind is very abstract. It's not something that we can touch. All right, but body is something that we can see, we can touch. So we should really understand the nature of body, like lovesomeness, like changes. Then when we don't cling to the body, this means that we will not get so upset when something happens to the body, what kind of disease, diabetes, sickness, or cancer, or whatever. Then our mind will be more equanimous. Okay. So it's good to follow the original teaching of Buddha, and they give us a very strong basis. Because I realized that when people listen to a lot of Dhamma talks by a lot of speakers, some of them they got confused. Why? Because they don't have the basic. If you have the basic, no matter you listen to any speakers from any Dhamma teacher, you know which part the teacher is saying, which area the teacher is emphasizing. Then you don't get confused. But if you don't have the foundation basis like Satipatthana, which is very fundamental teaching about vipassana, insight meditation, then you'll get confused when the teacher say like this, another teacher say like that, right? Okay, so that's why we follow as close as possible. Now, I'm using the Bhikkhu Sujato. Why? Because he is easily available. But actually, there are other teacher I also prefer, like Bhikkhu Bodhi, because he translate nearer to the Pali. Also, another teacher is called Jnana Bonika. All these are very well established teacher, very good founded, give a very good teaching because they are very skillful in Pali. Yeah, of course, you also can refer to Visuddhimagga by uh, Nyan, Nyanamoli. All right. So all these are good teacher, very good teacher. Not that contemplate yet because the contemplation they are quite maybe 10 years. Of course, Bhikkhu Bodhi is still around. Nyana Ponika, he write one very famous book called, I think the book is called Heart of Buddhist Meditation. Yeah. So this is a very good book to read. It give a very good uh, explanation about, okay, yeah, okay, this book, Heart of Buddhist Meditation. You can download it in a PDF or you can buy it. It's possible. Try to go to Amazon, get a second hand if you don't want the first hand. So it's a very nice book. It's very impressive because it gives lots of value and not so difficult language. All right, now another teacher you all should read is U Silananda. He's one of the four Mahasi Sayadaw has four chief disciples. He's one of them, and he's very famous in America because he's there many years in America, and he's also Abhivamsa. Abhivamsa is similar to PhD in Buddhist study. Abhivamsa is very difficult to get, right? Within like I think 7 years after their degree, they had to contemplate. They had to completed the Abhivamsa. All these are good teacher. You all should try to read their books. Okay, now background. Now, when we study any sutta, it's good to read the background because the sutta say the Buddha was in a Kuru town named Kamasattama, right? Okay, sorry, there's no A here. Kamasattama. Kamasattama was a prominent market town in a Kuru country in the ancient India, where Buddha stayed and taught several of his most important discourses. It's highly revered in a Buddhist tradition as a setting of teaching that lay foundation of mindfulness. This means that it teach the Satipatthana is here, right? So this part is Satipatthana, and it also has the teaching of dependent origination. Why? Because when the Buddha give Dhamma talk to people, he must choose people who be able to follow well, right? right? Yeah. So this is a Kamasa Dhamma. All right. So the people in the Kuru country, in a Kuru town called Kamasa Dhamma, is considered a good recipient of difficult Dhamma talk. Because why? Because they are thoughtful. The people there are thoughtful, studious, so they can think, and also they can understand the Buddha's deep analytical teaching. Okay. Yeah. Right. So that's why the audience recipient of Dhamma talk is suitable. Right. So then this is starting from here is translation of this Satipatthana Sutta. Right. So if you want to go to the version I copy is from this Sutta Center, you can just copy the link there. Right. So as I said, if you want to see Pali and English together, so you can just click the view here. Then you turn on the Pali, either side by side. Side by side means you show the Pali on the right side, okay? Or you want to do the line by line. So this is line by line. So you can see the Pali and English together. Kamasa Dhamma. Okay. Now we go back to this one. All right. So that's how if you want to find the Pali reference and English together. Now, when we say any discourse, when the Buddha teach, normally we have three parts. That's why the sutta we call it well. When we say the well expounded, what's the meaning of the Dhamma discourse are well expounded? Sometimes it means it's excellent in the beginning, middle, and end. All right. So most of this course you can divide it to three parts: beginning, middle, and end. So this part is the beginning. Now, in the beginning, normally the Buddha will explain the purpose of this sutta. So this sutta is the we call it four foundation of mindfulness meditation. Now Bhikkhu Sujato, he's a he when he give translation, he tried to use more modern terms, all right? So instead of translating as Satipatthana, you all know Satipatthana, we translate as foundation mindfulness. So here he just used the word mindfulness meditation. Okay, you can see how he used the modern terms. It's very, when we say mindfulness meditation, everybody know it's a meditation you practice on mindfulness awareness. So four kinds of mindfulness meditation. So we call it Satipatthana in Pali. In fact, the word sati is mindfulness. Now, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness we translate as awareness, but it also means simply you be mindful. All right. Now, patthana, this word patthana, okay. Patthana here is translated as sometimes the word patthana we translate as a foundation. Okay, this is literary translation. But sometimes we can translate foundation means patthana means object, right? So it's an object for sati. So in a way we say satipatthana means four objects for awareness or for mindfulness. That is a body, feeling, mind, and dhamma, right? So and here has the things, these four kinds of mindfulness meditation satipatthana are the only path. Okay. Now, this is also another words that a lot of people confuse. Why is it the only path? Sometimes they use the word path to convergence. And this path of convergence translates Bhikkhu Bodhi, Ekayano, Mago. He explained here, it has many multiple meanings in the commentaries and ancient Chinese translation. And the Sayadaw U Sinananda, he said this only one way, only one path, means it had no forks, no branches. There is just one way. And you tread in this way, you will surely reach your destination. Okay. So it means that Satipatthana is one way. So when, for example, you want to go to a place, so when you follow this path, you definitely will reach the destination. So if you practice the Satipatthana, you definitely reach Nibbana. It's not the path that you go somewhere and then you will branch to left or right, so you get confused. He said that if you practice this way seriously, you continue to practice, you reach the Nibbana. So that's why it's only one way. So they are in order to purify. So now we have 7 benefits here. One, purification of beings, purify beings, get lost, past sorrow and lamentation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is 2. I think this is 3. So end of pain, end of pain. So this is a 5 here. Pain is dukkha. This is a bit domanassa. Sukha. Later I check the Pali. So this should be 6. This one discover the system 7 and 8. All right. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 7 benefits. That's why we call it the meaning of this type, we call it expounded. Well, it's my excellent. In the beginning, Buddha already said the benefits of this sutta. So there are 7 benefits here. So we look at the Pali again. Okay, now this is the standard Pali. Okay, I put in the text here. Okay. Sometimes actually it's clearer looking at the Pali. Okay, so yeah, okay. So we look at the Pali and English together. All right. So if people ask you what's the benefits of the Satipatthana, Sattanam Visuddhiya. Visuddhiya is like Visuddhimagga. Purification of being means purify the beings. Sokha is sorrow. All right. So this is called sorrow. And then the Parideva is lamentation, cry. Now, what's the difference between Sokha and Parideva? Sorrow means okay, first is means that it's the defilements, get rid of the defilements in the mental defilements. All right. Now, Sokha is you feel sad. So in Abhidhamma, we call it dosamala. You feel sad in your mind. Now, when you feel sad, it becomes very strong. We call it Parideva. Parideva means really cry out lamentation. Pain. Now, this dukkha is referred to more on physical pain because domanassa should refer on mental pain. Right? So there should be difference between one is a physical pain and one is on mental pain. That's a sadness here. All right. And discover the system. Right? Jnanasa adhikamaya. System means the path, Noble Eightfold Path. And Nibbana Sasachikriyaya. So he translate here extinguishing. So this also refer to Nibbana. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. Okay, sorry. This should be 4. So this should be 5. Yes. Okay, this one should be 6. Okay, this one should be 7. All right. So there will be 7 benefits. Yeah. Okay, so that's why we call it well expounded, because in the very beginning, the Buddha already said, if you practice this Satipatthana, you overcome your sorrow, lamentation, physical pain, sadness, grief. You get to the system, to the path, right? You can translate path. And then to extinguishing, to Nibbana. That is the Chattaro Satipatthana. Right, so these are benefits that everybody should remember. Because if not, people ask you, why you practice Satipatthana? Yes, you want to purify your mind. You want to overcome pain, limitation, and so on. Now, of course, if only when they become arahant, they really out of samsara. But before that, if they practice well, they can overcome their sorrow and grief. All this happen when we cling to our own feeling, cling to the sense of atta. So if we can let go the clinging to sense of atta, then we will reduce the sorrow and limitation. Okay, and even though we have some physical pain or limitation, if we kind of like continue to not aware of them, so this arise and pass away. Right, these are 7 benefits. Okay, so this is important to remember this. Okay, now from here on is still, and yes, it's still considered as introduction. So here is explanation of 4. Just now the Buddha said, right, what are these 4? So this is the first one you will see. Body, observe the body. All right. So observe aspect in the body. This is the kaye kayanopasi. All right. Observing the body in the body. Another translation. Either observing an aspect of the body or observing the body in the body. Kaye kayanopasasi. So means that one observe a body in a body refer to focusing on specific aspect of the embodied experience, such as breath, posture, and so on. So body in a body means you go beyond the concept of self, more towards the wisdom. This means that when you observe anything to do with the body, like 4 great elements or breathing, just observe it as a body. Also, body means you don't cling it to my 4 aggregates, my 4 elements, my breathing, my posture, and so on. So you need to go beyond the concept. Just go for the real experience. Okay. And then that's the first thing, means body in a body or aspect in a body. And you need to have a few criteria. First one is ardent. Ardent means effort, viriya. Aware. Aware is also sati. Yeah, clear awareness. Sampajana. Okay, check the body again. Right. So you have the kaya pasini. So atapi sampajano satima. So this is 3 criteria. Right. So the first one is called viriya or atapi. So 3 criteria. First one is atapi. Second one is sampajano and satima. So when we look at the body, viriya, atapi, ardent. So in a noble effort path is considered one of the right effort. Sampajano is awareness. So awareness here actually we can translate as wisdom, right? So this is more wisdom. Satima is sati, mindfulness. All right. So that means that if you notice that in a noble effort path, you already try to have 3: effort, mindfulness, and wisdom. And in the 5 faculties, we also need to have 5. So we consider these are uh, 3 faculties, right? And 3 faculties, when people ask me, when do they become bala? So they become 3 power bala. Is when they become strong, right? So this is called indriya. So 3 indriya become 3 power. So you can see this, we already practice when we are trying to practice the Satipatthana. Right, kin, ardent, or means effort, awareness, sampajano, mindfulness, satima. And by then you get rid of covetousness and displeasure. So these are 2 defilements that is in Abhidhamma is craving and displeasure means aversion, all right? So means greed rooted, hatred rooted by just applying your faculties and 3 power. Okay, any question up to this part? Okay, no. So body in power imply you go beyond the concept into the wisdom. Kin ardent, atapi, refer to effort, while awareness Okay, sampajano is a wisdom, understand the situation and context. Covetousness and displeasure. So abhijja. Now in Pali we have many terms. Sometimes we have kantana. Sometimes we have abhijja, right? Sometimes aversion is domanassa. So that is overcome by self-restraint. So at this point, before meditation or during meditation, we need to restrain the mind. So don't let the mind go too wild. All right.
Melinda here. The
Yes.
meaning of sampajano is awareness. Awareness.
Yeah, it's a more on wisdom. Awareness is nearer to wisdom. Because we already had the satima. Satima will be mindfulness. So sampajano will be more on wisdom. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Because if not, we cannot differentiate. That's why when we look at the English translation, it's always confused, which is the right one. But when we look at the Pali, it's very clear, right? Because the Pali, the root will be nya, sampajati. So that's why it's advantage when you learn the Pali, okay? Sampajana. Pajana. See? Pajanati. Pajanati means nose, okay? The root is nya. Okay. So this root is what? So the is a sum plus the pa plus nya, right? Nya becomes jia, right? So this nya means to know. Okay. So you have effort. Now this effort is from the root tap. Tap means to burn the defilement. So sapajano means to do with knowledge. Yes. Satima means mindfulness. Now when we say mindfulness, what is actually the root mindfulness? Sati, the root is sa, to remember. Okay. So when you say you have mindfulness, what is the meaning of you have mindfulness? You have mindfulness means your mind remember the object. So when you practice meditation, if you know the breathing meditation or you notice the abdomen rising, falling, if your mind remember the object, means that you have awareness. When your mind forget the object, your mind lost the object, means you don't remember. It's very simple. Okay. So that's why it's good to learn the Pali. You get to know the meaning. Okay, now, all right. So we go to the first. Now, Satipatthana is 4. First one is Kaya Anupassana. Now, Kaya is body with the word Anupassana. Right. So Kaya is this physical body. So Anu is literally means again. So Pasana means seeing. So means seeing again means you observe or correct or reflect or something like reflect or whatever. So it just kind of like not just one time. You have to see not one time, 2 times, 3 times, hundreds of times, many times. Okay. So there's a first one is divided to it have few parts here. So the first part is mindfulness of breathing. Now, so we all know that we may be talking about because sometimes people thought that mindfulness of breathing is samatha, right? But actually, it is the vipassana. Okay, so yeah, this is the Pali. So let's go back. Okay. Okay. Melinda, you can read the English first. Yeah.
English, huh?
Yes.
Okay, observing the body, kaya dupasana, kaya plus anupassana, mindfulness of breathing. And how does the medicant meditate observing an aspect of the body? It's when the medicant gone to a wilderness or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut, sits down cross-legged, sets their body straight and brings mindfulness to the present. Just mindful they breathe in, mindful they breathe out. Breathing in heavily long, they know I'm breathing in heavily, long. Breathing out heavily, they know I'm breathing out heavily. Note the most fundamental meditation instruction. Notice how the Buddha praises it, not concentrate on the breath as an object, but rather breathing as an activity to which one brings mindfulness. The stages of breath meditation are not meant to be done deliberately, but to be observed and understood as the natural process of deepening meditation. In the beginning, the breath is somewhat rough and coarse. The Pali idioms is long and short breath, but in English we usually say to breathe heavily or lightly.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, first one is when we say we want to see the body, observe the body. So the first part is breathing. So before you go for breathing, you need to go to a good place, or we call it suitable place, right? So this is a suitable place, and so where you go, you need to go to wilderness, if possible, to the root of tree, empty heart. So this means that you go for a solitude place, right? Solitude or lonely place where nobody disturb you. Then after that, you need to have a good posture. So what kind of posture here? Okay, so this is the first one. Now, posture means you sit down cross-legged. Now, this is a traditional way of yoga. You cross-legged like this or like this. Right? But I think nowadays it's not easy to cross-leg. So the main thing is you need to sit somewhere that your body is maybe keep quiet, keep stable. So your body should not be moving around, and your spine, right? Set the body straight. So that means that your spine should be straight, right? After that, you bring the mindfulness to the present. So that means that you bring the mindfulness, come to the body, keep the present time at the moment. So when you keep the body, that means that here, especially the lower part of the body, stable. So your body will not move around. Because your body is moving around, then you cannot focus on breathing. So you need to make sure that the body are stable. And then keep the spine. Because if you bend down for a while, then after that your breathing not clear, then you feel tired, you feel sleepy. So make sure that even though sometimes when you meditate, your body start to bend down. The moment you're aware the body bend down, you must straight the body again. So never keep the body bend down. Okay, keep the spine straight. Always make sure that uh, you are in a very comfortable position. All right, and then bring the mindfulness to the present. Okay, now we see the Pali word. Okay. Now, this one he say, go to wilderness, do a tree, empty heart, sit cross-legged, sit body. Now, this is the word Pali Mukham Sati, right? So, bring the mindfulness to the present. Now, sometimes because of this Pali, we have this word mukha, right? So, mukha actually literally means mouth, you know. Some people look at it thought that every time the meditation should be on the mouth because of this Pali word mukha. All right. But actually, mukha does not mean mouth. It also means uh, facing, right? So the mind like parimukha. We don't have this one. Parimuchadi, parim. Okay, in front. It does not mean that facing the mouth. It means that your mind should uh, keep the mindfulness in front or towards the object. Okay. Right. So bring the mindfulness to present. That's one translation. Or bring mindfulness to towards the object. Some teacher prefer to say bring the mindfulness to the object also can. So it's this one parimukkham. Okay, now. So here from this part will be breathing in, breathing out. So, okay, remember we learned the anapanasati, I think last week, right? So breathing in, breathing out is one process. So in is one process, out is second process. Okay. And then breathing long is third process. Then breathing in and out. So there are many processes here. So whatever process is this, is you need to be mindful, whether in or out, or long or short, or whatever. Now, when we say breathing long, because of the Pali is long, but here it translates as heavy. Means that you take longer time. So it's heavy. Your breath is heavy. So it translates either heavy or long. So after that, there will be breathing in, short or long, or breathing out, short or long. Right? Why the breath becomes short? Because according to the translation, the breath becomes subtle and soft. Okay, that's one way. Or become sometimes when we call it light. Light means you don't feel it much. It's very little bit only. But another meaning of short means you uh or short refer to the shorter time to breathe in or out, right? So it depends people. Not to say that every time you meditate, your breath definitely will not be same. If you are very mindful, you notice that your breath change all the time. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short. Okay, sometimes it's maybe take 1 minute, 1 second, 2 seconds. Sometimes it take more than 1 second. So our breath changes all the time. Okay, now actually the purpose of this meditation is telling us that we should mindful no matter it's long or short, heavy or light. So your mind should just focus on breathing. So when like this, then you really understand that uh, the nature of breath. Okay, now you got some more instruction. The third one, then the next one. Okay. Okay, next person. Emily, you can read from here onwards.
Okay, saya which one? The
Practice, yeah, here.
practice. Oh, okay. They practice like this. I'll breathe in, experiencing the whole body. They practice like this. I'll breathe out, experiencing the whole body. Contextually, the idiom whole body, sabba kaya, here refers to the breath, marking the fuller and more continuous awareness that arises with tranquility. Some practitioners, however, interpret it as the whole physical body, broadening awareness to encompass the movement and settling of energies throughout the body. They practice like this. I will breathe in, stilling the physical process. They practice like this. I will breathe out, stilling the physical process. The physical process, Kaya Sankara, is the breath itself. SN 41.618. This can become so soft as to be imperceptible. It's like a deaf carpenter or a carpenter's apprentice. When making a deep cut, they know I'm making a deep cut. And when making a shallow cut, they know I'm making a shallow cut.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Emily.
thank you.
Okay. Now, okay, so first you breathe in long, breathe in short or heavy and light. Then after that, your mindfulness should go for the whole body. Now, this whole body depends on interpretation because the Pali it just said sabakaya. Sabha is all kaya. So this kaya can refer to breath. Okay. So this means that you need to know in one way we say if you this sabha kaya either whole means refer to the whole breath from beginning, middle, and end, right? So this means that you focus the breathing because when you breathe in, it will be you have to know when the breath start to come in, the middle, and when the breath stop. So when you breathe out, you also must know the beginning, middle, end. So if we are talking about sabakaya, refer to the whole breath. But another meaning, the whole here, might just refer to the whole body. So that's why in Pali is also depends on interpretation. Some of the later the teacher they will explain, like some they will say this refer to your whole physical body. Okay, so that's mean that when you breathe in, breathe out, you also notice what happened in the body, which is also possible because when you breathe in, breathe out, it's not just the breath travel for the nose, to the chest, to the stomach. Sometimes you feel when you breathe a lot of air, you find that your body is lighter, you know. So when you breathe out, you notice the body become heavy. When you breathe in good air, you notice the body become more better, right? So it also depends on how. But I would say that it's either way. But for beginners, it's better don't focus the whole body because the whole body is has lots of feeling. If you are going to do anapanasati, just focus on breath only. Limit only to breath. Okay, because if you're going to observe the whole body, so your mind is will be disturbed by other things in the body, right? Then after that, you practice I will breathe. Now, if you notice in Pali, at this point, okay, earlier on is still in present tense, okay, but when you come to this part, right, this part is in future tense already. This one thing they notice in Bali. Okay. So this part is no more present tense, it's future tense. And this part also future tense. So it is some commentators, they explain this is the training you have to do, right? So earlier on, breathing in, long breathing, short breathing is still using the present tense, and I will here future tense. I will experience it the whole breath. And future tense, I will breathe in, stilling. I will breathe out, stilling the whole physical process. So it's talking about future tense refer to training. You know, you have to train the mind to see this. Okay. All right, so we finish this one some more. And now at this point onwards, okay, and this point onwards, and so they're meditating, observing an aspect of the body internally, externally, and both. So this part is much more on vipassana. Right? Of course, everything is on vipassana. So this part is much more on, we call it like Dhamma Vijaya, investigation of Dhamma, because your mind have to go deeper, not just on the breathing only. You have to apply more wisdom here. Okay. The next person to read. Melissa. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think she's not very well. Sister Yu?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wherever.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Wait.
Yes.
Yes. The Vipassana points Dhamma Vijaya. And so they meditate, meditate, observing an aspect of the body internally, externally, and both internally and externally. Note, internally is one's own body, externally is the bodies of others, or external physical phenomena. This distinction is applied broadly in Buddhist meditation, but it is more relevant in some contexts than others. In the case of the breath, one is focusing on one's own breath, but when contemplating, say, a dead body or the material elements, there is more of an external dimension. Starting with me in here and the world out there, this practice dissolved this distinction so that we see we are of the same nature
as everything else. They meditate observing with respect to the body, the liability to originate, to vanish, and to originate and vanish. This is the vipassana, insight or discernment, dimensions of meditation, observing not just the rise and fall of phenomena, but also their conditioned nature as being liable, dharma, to impermanence. The meaning of this passage is explained at SN 47.42. Apart from these passages, Vipassana in Satipatthana pertains specially to the observation of principles.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So this point, you need to see internal, external, and both internal and external. Now, what's the meaning of internal? If we are talking about your own body, it can be means internal. External, you can talking about people's body, other people's body, or just outside thing. Okay, because we are talking about this Kayanupasana is body, means material, right? So this is we're talking about Kayanupasana. Nupasana means Kaya here refer to your body, means also material, right? Material. So sometimes it's just you look at your body, say, okay, my body is like that, subject to impermanent suffering non-self. And people's body, a dead person body, or even the tree, the flowers, and so on, also subject to decay, right? Like we say, everything is impermanent suffering non-self. Your body is subject to decay. Other things, other body, other physical thing also subject to decay. So it's the same, right? So it's the same. So the more you contemplate, oh, okay, just like flowers and tree, our body is just part of nature also. And also here you have to see they are subject to arising and passing away. So they will arise due to condition, our body, four great elements, or breathing also. Everything will arise. Now, our breath, what is the condition for the breath? First, you must have a good body. You must have life. Okay. And there must be oxygen, right? So you have to consider the factors for breathing. Let's say for breathing. Okay. Let's say for breathing, what is the nature here? You want to have a good breath, so you must have the body, your physical body. You must have oxygen. You know oxygen, how do you breathe? Okay. And you must have mind. Without the mind, if a dying person, they will not breathe because there's no mind. There might be body, there might be oxygen, but there's no mind. And also you must have nose. If you have no nose, how do you breathe? Okay. If your nose is stuck, if you have any like stuck nose, you know it's very difficult. You cannot breathe through the nose. So you have to use your mouth to breathe. So simple thing. So nose. Yeah. Sometimes you have to think about that. Oh, our body is subject to nature. Our breathing is also not belong to us. It's also belong to all these factors, you know. So we call it, this is a causes of, of breath. Yeah. So because of this, they are subject to condition. So causes, sometimes you use the word causes and condition. So in the whole world, everything is subject to condition. When there's good condition, things will arise. When there's no condition, things will fall down. Okay? So this is a condition here. So everything is impermanence. Impermanence means is subject to condition. That's the meaning. And to maintain the condition is not easy, you know. You must maintain the body well. You must maintain the mind cheerful. You must make sure that your environment got good oxygen. So you all see the many story about why people go to the cave to what for the diving, right? Then they trap inside the cave. Then they have no oxygen. A lot of people die when they do such this kind of adventure. Okay, now our mindfulness is established that body exists. So this is the sutta here. So the necessary knowledge, necessary to the extent necessary for knowledge and mindfulness. Okay, so then your mindfulness should establish. What's the meaning is that the body exists. Okay, so when you look at the Pali is Attikayo, okay? The body exists. Attikayo. Now, this Pali is actually very interesting. Attikayo, you know the word Attikayo. We know the Atti, right? Your Atti Sandhi in the Pali. Atti means there is body. Sometimes you can translate this word means there is body. What's the meaning of there is body? There is body means there's nothing to do with I or my. It's not my body, not your body, should not be clean with I and my. It's just a phenomenon. It's just a nature by itself. All right. So when you meditate your breathing for a long time, you notice that it's non-self. So this breathing is not part of I or my. It's just part of the material body. Then necessary for knowledge means mindfulness. Here will be wisdom. Mindfulness is mindfulness. They meditate independently. Now, independently means don't grasp. Here at this point, they let go. No craving. Okay? No craving at all. All right. So there are many mindfulness meditation they lead to range of knowledges as detailed by Anuruddha at the Sutta. Now, Arahant is independent of attachment. Okay, but Satipatthana is taught to give up dependence on the view of past and future. All right, so we can give up few things. First is attachment to the breathing, attachment to this idea of self, or you understand that there's the past and future is not happening yet. Right now, at the moment of breathing, present time is the most important. Okay, so that's how medical meditates aspect of the body. Okay, I think breathing is actually very short in Satipatthana compared to I think last week we do the so last week we are doing the okay. Yeah, last week when we do the breathing meditation is in very big detail. There are 16 practices in the okay, like long breath. Today what you see in Satipatthana is only long breath, short breath, whole breath, number 3, and calming the breath. That's all in Satipatthana, only these 3. These 4 only, very short. And then in the this we call Anapanasati, it will give the 16 ways. But in the Satipatthana Sutta, it only say these 4 methods: long breath, short breath, whole breath, and stilling the physical, calming the physical process. But that's enough for the fulfill the Kaya Nupassana. Okay, then we go to posture. All right, before go for posture, any question on the breathing? Any questions on the breathing? Okay, so in not now. Now, this is after you sit down, you notice the breathing. Now, after that, you want to walk. Okay, how are you going to practice according to Satipatthana Sutta? Okay, next person to read. Sister Yo? Yes.
The posture. Furthermore, when the mendicant is walking, they know I'm walking. When standing, they know I'm standing. When sitting, they know I'm sitting. And when lying down, they know I'm lying down. Note, in early Pali, this practice is found only in the 2 Satipatthana Suttas and the closely related Kaya Gata Sati Sutta, MN 119. It is practiced by developing a reflexive awareness of one's posture and activity as it proceeds, when often assisted by moving slowly and carefully. Whatever posture their body is in, they know it. And so they meditate, observing an aspect of the body internally, externally, and both internally and externally. With respect to the body, they meditate observing the liability to originate, to vanish, and to originate and vanish. Or mindfulness is established that the body exists to the extent necessary for knowledge and mindfulness. They meditate independent, not grasping and anything in the world.
Okay, thank you. Now, this part
Thank you.
is on how you practice mindfulness, not just, so we call it walking, standing, sitting, lying down. So this is, we call it the 4 major posture, all right? So walk, sit, stand, and lie down. So no matter how anybody, sometimes you walk, after a while you sit, then after a while you stand, then you lie down. So these 4 major postures, so you should aware, right? Now the thing is, they knows I'm walking, I'm standing, I'm sitting. Now the question is, okay, before you practice meditation, you know also. And now you're practicing meditation, you also know, is there any different? Now the thing is here, when you notice, as a meditator, we should not use the idea I'm walking and sitting. So we should notice that the mind want to walk, okay, then the walking, the mind want to sitting. You have to practice like this, because if not, how are you going to uh, let go? How are you going to independently, not grasping to anything, right? So here means, even though you walk and mindfulness, so as a meditator, so you all should not, okay, the mind wants to walk, then the feet moving. Okay, for example, when you walk already, then the mind wants to wants you have to practice like this, then you be go beyond the idea of I or mind. It's just the mind and body, mind and body, mind and body. Okay. So you can find this sutta in these 2 Satipatthana. Now, what is 2 Satipatthana? They are actually the long one will be in a Mahasatipatthana. The longest one will be in the, we call it the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. So this is a very long sutta. Okay, in the long length discourse. And Satipatthana, sometimes you can find in some of the sutta, sometimes exists very short, sometimes long or medium, but the longest one, so it will be called Mahasatipatthana. And if you want to find, there's also another sutta called Kayagata Sati Sutta, right? So it will talk about. So today I go slow because this Satipatthana Sutta is very important. So you can find this. Mindfulness of breathing. Okay, so same. I'm walking, I'm standing and lying down, and whatever posture, right? So whether you are moving around, walking, standing, sitting, lying down, and whatever posture you are, you know, right? Here, this part is very similar with Satipatthana Sutta. Okay. Yeah. So this is the posture we call Iriya Patapapa. Right. So this posture is called Iriya Patapapa. So they call Iriapatapam. Iriya means motion. Okay, so 4 posture here. It mentioned in many sutta, Satipatthana Sutta, Kayakata Sati Sutta. And how you're going to practice is one way to exist means to be mindful means move slowly. Why moving slowly? Because when you move slowly, you can notice the intention in the mind. All right. Now, if you don't move slowly, you cannot not. So when you move slowly, you can not the intention in the mind. Okay. If you move slowly, before you stand up, you not the intention of mind. Before you sit down, you not the intention of mind. Before you do the left and right, you can also nod it, but it's difficult if you want to walk fast. Simply you nod the intention in mind at any time before you change posture. Okay, especially changing posture. That is important. That means that you want to nod the intention like intention to walk after sitting, okay? Then intention to stand before standing. Then you really see the body is like kind of like we call it like a mannequin or a puppet, right? A puppet. So after the mind, then there will be something happen to the body. All right. So this is called posture here. And this part, the internal, external, all these are same. Okay, all these are same thing. It's same. Yeah. Okay. Next one, 1.3. Okay. Sister Vila. Oh, yeah.
Morning, Saji.
Yes.
1.3 Situational awareness, daily awareness. Furthermore, American acts with situational awareness when going out and coming back, when looking forward, when looking ahead and aside, when bending and extending the limbs, when bearing the outer robe, bowl and ropes, when eating, drinking, chewing, and tasting, when urinating and defecating, when walking, standing, sitting, sleeping, waking, speaking, and keeping silent.
Continue. Yeah.
Where is it now? Oh, I look at my notes, sorry. So, note, situational awareness, sampajanya, understands the context and purpose of activities. The main examples here illustrate the activities of daily monastic life, leaving the monastery on alms round, restraint while in the town, care, wearing the robes, then mindfully eating and going to the toilet. And so they meditate observing an aspect of the body internally. That too is how a medicant meditates by observing an aspect of the body.
Okay. So
Thank you.
here is awareness. Thank you very much. Now, awareness, we call it daily awareness. Now, because sometimes you are not in meditation, intensive, like doing sitting, walking, standing, we call it the 4 posture here. But how about other activities, right? So we will, as a human, we wear the robes, we need to eat, we need to go to toilet, right? We need to talk, we need to keep silent, you know? Yeah. Even keeping silent, you also must aware. This is we call understand the purpose. For example, like you are in your house, suddenly you want to go outside. What's the purpose? You have to ask yourself this question. Or you want to go for your meditation room, you want to go outside. Is it to drink water, or is it you want to chit chat with people, or you want to talk with the teacher also? So keep the mindfulness. This means that beside the sitting, walking, standing, lying down, you also need to be aware of all the possible posture and the mind. What's the intention in the mind? Okay, and then the rest that meditating, observing the aspect of the body, all they are same like before the body, right? Okay, I think we can continue. Now, this is a 32 body parts. Yes, Brother Michael. Yes.
Focusing on the repulsive. Furthermore, the medical example their own body, up from the sole of the feet and down from the tips of the hairs, wrapped in skin and full of many kinds of filth. Note, this practice is intended to counter sexual desire and obsession. The primary focus is on one's own body rather than another's body, although that can be brought in also by focusing on aspects of our body that we normally prefer to ignore. We move towards the healthy sense of acceptance and neutrality towards our body. In this body, there is hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidney, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, intestine, menstruary, undigested food, feces, bowels, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, snore, food, urine. Note these 31 parts of mentioned in early texts, later expanded to 32 with the addition the brains Matalunga.
Okay, thank you. So now this is we call repulsiveness. So in Pali we call it patikula, alright? Patikula manasikala. Patikula means repulsiveness. It's same like asubha. Okay. So this is called Pali. Patikula manasikala. It's same like we call it the asubha practice. Now, in the Dhamma, you all know that we have anicca, dukkha, anatta, and asubha to counteract the what? Nicca, sukha, atta, subha, right? Because every time our mind want to see permanence, we want to see happiness, we want to cling to self, we want to cling as beautiful. But in reality, everything will be impermanence, suffering, or unsatisfactoriness, non-self, and impurity, or we call it non-beautiful. Right? Where's the okay, yeah, okay. Right now, the practice of this is try to see our body has all this thing is not beautiful. I mean, of course, we will cling it as beautiful because the moment we see our skin, we say our skin is so beautiful, our hair is beautiful, like this. But we try to see the 32 body parts as much as we can with our physical eyes. Then this is considered part of the Asubha practice. Okay, now how many we can see with physical eyes? How many? Which one we can see with anybody can answer this question? How many we can see with our physical eyes?
Head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin.
Okay, body hair, nail, teeth, skin. Okay, this one we can see with physical eyes. What else?
Blood.
Hmm?
Blood.
Bladder?
Blood.
Blood.
Blood, okay. Blood. What else?
Saliva,
Sweat,
Feces,
tears,
yes.
blood, sweat,
Tear,
pus, phlegm,
okay. Sweat, phlegms,
saliva,
phlegm,
phlegm, pus, urine,
urine, yes. What
saliva,
else?
grease,
Saliva,
snot,
snot, yeah. Okay. Any more?
pus.
Pus, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So these 32 body parts, if you including the matalukam brain is not put here, but we can put the brain somewhere here at the end, okay? Heart. Now, all these are internal ones. Flesh, sinew, bones, bone marrow, kidney, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lung, intestine, metastream. This one we cannot see. This one is unless you got stomach problem, you got diarrhea problem, you vomit out, then you can see. It's like when you see outside, when you go to garden, you see the dog vomit, right? So it's like the food like the dog vomit. Sometimes we can see this. Feces is and urine. So to practice this one, it's good also. This practice can include it in your toilet time. No? When in toilet time, you go to flush before flushing your urine and feces, always look at it. Actually, feces and urine indicate the sign of your body. If the physical blood means that you have some injury inside, okay, or some problem there. So it's good to observe any of these as much as possible. Then this will reduce the sense of subha. It will give us the sense of asubha. And most of the thing you can see that is this is we call it the five external part that we can see with our physical, all right? Our head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin. Now, during the we call it the ordination time in Buddha time. So even the novice, we call it the 7-year-old novice, they can become arahant. Why? Because they contemplate, we call it this fighting, okay? So when they shave the head, so the hair will drop down, right? So then they will see, oh, head hair. They contemplate the nature of the head hair is impurity. So 7 novices become arahant when they contemplate the hair during the shaving time. Because they see the part of the nature of the body already. Why? Because when the hair is attached to our head, we will say it's mine, it's beautiful. But the moment the hair leave the body, then we see it as asubha itself, all right? So anything that leave the body, even before leaving the body, when you see the blood, the pus, the saliva or whatever, so sometimes you can see you feel your saliva there, even your snot inside your nose, okay? So try to contemplate it. Why? Because these are the part of asubha. We we have this view, okay? This is we call it the view. So we need to practice to eradicate this kind of view, right? This is a view. We view everything as anicca, nitya, sukha, atta, subha, permanence, happy, self, and beautiful. So we have to see as okay. We try to see or practice see everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha. Asubha means the 32 body parts. So this refer to 32 body parts. Our body, any parts of body is impurity, full of impurity, non-beautiful, right? So anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha. These are why we practice again and again. Okay? And not just in meditation time, anytime. So something good happened to you, you also must let go. Okay, good or bad is anicca. Even happy things happen to you, yes, you say, okay, it's part of nature. So you also let go. Don't cling, because the moment you cling, happy thing will turn to dukkha. Dukkha thing will also will be impermanent. So everything you must go to the idea of non-self. Don't just emphasize so much on this self. I want this, I want that. Right? It's impossible. Okay, so all right, so this one. Okay, this part. Pranali root. You can read this one.
Yes, Ayaji.
Yes, okay.
It's as if there were a bag with openings at both ends, filled with various kinds of grains, such as fine rice, wheat, mung beans, peas, sesame, and ordinary rice. And a person with the clear eyes were to open it and examine the contents. These grains are fine rice, these are wheat, these are mung beans, these are peas, and these are sesame, and these are ordinary rice. The bag with openings at both ends is the body. Not all the varieties of grains and beans can be positively identified. And so they meditate observing an aspect of the body internally. That too is how a mendicant meditates by observing an aspect of the body.
Okay. So the purpose of this is just like you open traditional when they have the bags of many things. So you have to identify. So every time when you see the 32 body parts, you have to identify what is what. This way will let you let go the idea of self and soul. You just see the at any point it's not this I and mine. Even this body. When we say this body, this material body, right? This material body, we call it kaya. Sometimes we use the word rupa. Okay, this rupa. It itself is also made of uh, it's also made of many things. Okay, so so we will see everything is just like you put things together, then you cling the idea of my body, myself. So when you divided it into many small things like a bag, you open out, you see all the different types of uh the rice or the grains and so on. So you divided the body into many parts. So then you lost the idea of body and mind. And if you really want it, yes, if you can get jhana, that's the best. Then you really can use your psychic power or your deep jhana to really kind of see the 32 body parts. So if you cannot get jhana, then try to practice it in your daily life. That will be better also. Okay. Okay, now today is Satipatthana, so we will go through all the Satipatthana. Now this is our 4 great elements. Okay, Gan Shu Peng. Right. You can read this one.
Thank you. 1.5 Focusing on the elements, 4 great elements. Furthermore, a medical examine their own body, wherever is placement or posture, according to the elements. In this body, there is the earth elements, the water elements, the fire elements, and the air elements. Note, while meditation on the elements is commonly taught in early texts, this phrase is found only in the two Satipatthana Sutta and the Kayaga Santi Sutta. Details instructions are found in such suttas as MM 28 and NN 140. This meditation work in any posture. It is as if a deaf butcher or a butcher's apprentice are to kill a cow and sit down at the crossroad with the meat cut into chops. This gruesome image showed that butchery of cow was a normal feature of ancient Indians life. Not a wide range of skilled workers have an apprentice, including porter, goldsmith, accountants, carpenters, and magicians. The worst is anti-racist, literally one who will within, suggesting that apprentices will stay with their teachers. The same word is used for monastic students, and so they meditate observing an aspect of the body internally. That's too is how a medicant meditate by observing an aspect of the body. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, this sutta is, it just say that observe the four great elements. Very short, okay, very short. It just say that you examine the body in whatever posture, earth, water, fire, wind. Okay. It does not give any example. It does not give the detail what is water, what is fire and wind. But we can give this simile. This simile is actually very good. Okay. Now it's like when you have a cow, when somebody, a butcher, before kill the cow, he will lead the cow from the market, he will lead it, right? Then so at that point, his mind still have the idea of cow. But when he chop, he at the crossroad, so he used a sharp knife, then he will cut the cow into the many meats, into chops and so on. Yeah. So it's like your body with the four great elements. So you use we call it the knife of wisdom. Knife of wisdom, you cut the body parts into the earth, water, fire, and wind. All right? I think later in my text, let's see. Okay, later we will come to the four great elements on the page 16, all right? So we will come to these four great elements later. Now we're still on the sutta. Right. So basically means that we try to know at what time, what is the earth predominant. Earth predominant means that you feel the heaviness, lightness. Okay. Water predominant. What is water predominant? You already see just now. In the 32 body parts, under the bar, okay, all these are considered a water element. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Should be this one. Okay. So this is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. So only this 12 is under water element. Right. So it's part of the body. So every time your body you sweat, you know it's water element. You go to toilet, urine is water element. So in the water is saliva. Means when we say water element is, of course, there will be some little bit hardness there, but the main part is majority is water element, right? Bile, phlegm, so those are water element. So in fact, in this we call it this is under the repulsiveness. Under repulsiveness, we already say we have these are 20. Okay. So under this part, you will find 20 earth element. And then water element. So if you combine, you have 32. So 32 body parts is we call it the repulsiveness of body. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So if you count from the head onwards, so you count at 1 and 2. So you look for this just now the 1.4, you will see this paragraph. Okay. So you calculate yourself 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20.
Your brain.
Yeah, you need a brain. Where's the number? 11, 12.
The brain is after the word note.
Bone marrow is
Masa lunga.
Oh, bone marrow. Yeah,
Bone
okay.
marrow is
So
one only.
okay. This one. Okay, one marrow is 1. Okay, so this is 11 here. So you had the 12. Okay, and then the 13, 14.
14 is
Now
spleen.
yeah, okay.
15 lungs.
Okay, and then the last one, 6, 17, 19. Okay. Yeah, okay. The last one will be the
Brain.
brain. Okay, so there will be the brain. Okay. Okay, right. Okay, now this 11. Heart is 11. Yeah. So anyway, you count yourself until you can get 12 and add on the brain. All right. So these 20 are called the earth elements because even though, like for example, our heart, they also got water. Our liver also got water. Our diaphragm, all this, of course, they are water. But because they are predominant as earth, means we call it the solidity is a predominant, all right? So predominant in solid, in solid hardness of it. So water will be predominant in water, right? So you calculate this. So when you consider this 1.4, the repulsiveness of the body means you are trying to see the 32 body parts. So when you try to see the 32 body parts, you actually try to see that it belongs to 20 is water, 20 is earth, and 12 is water. All right. So this will cover this. So that's how they are saying when the example of somebody carry the cow. So at first he has the image of cow. So when he cut the cow, then the image of cow lost. So at first we have the image of the body. We have the image of this Gaia body, but it's actually composed of many things. So that's why we have to cut our body with our mind into 20 earth and 12 water, including the brain, right? That's why some of the chanting, they don't chant the brain because the brain is under I think the brain should be under this mesentery. Some of the chanting, they left out the brain. But if we had to put the brain, then we get the 32 body parts, okay? So anyway, that's the meaning of earth element. So earth element means these are 20 and water elements mean 12, right? So 20 and 12, you get 32. That means that you have to be mindful all the time of what is like when you sit down, you notice the heaviness, lightness, and so on, earth. So you notice that things flowing out or more liquid is water. So you notice your body is hot and cold is fire. Then you notice the air element, right? So you notice this when you're doing sitting meditation or walking meditation. As long as you're mindful, there will be these four great elements. Now, what's the purpose? The purpose is go beyond the concept of the body, right? So it's like somebody, you have the cow. But after you cut off the cow, there's no more image of cow. So at first you had the image of the body. So after you divide to 4 great elements, the image of body is lost. Now, when we say the image of body is lost, it's not that you lost this body because your physical body is here, but you lost the clinging to the body. So in fact, some people when they practice, they really feel that the body disappear. But the body is actually here. They feel the body disappear is because the mind no more cling to the whole body. It only see the 32 body parts or 4 great elements. Okay, we go for channel ground here. This one we cannot practice because we cannot get a corpse. Even we get a corpse, we only get a fresh one. Fresh one means dead between 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And nowadays, those who pass away, they will dress them, they'll dress them nicely. They put some, because the body when die, they will be very ashen, gray color. So people will put some lipstick and whatever. So you don't see the body naturally. After 2 days, 3 days, bloating, livid, festering. But if you have like dead animal, like dead lizard or dead mouse, or like in my center, sometimes we had the dogs that pass away. So we noticed that the dog become bloating and then very smelly. Even a small lizard is very smelly, not to say about human body. Okay, the next one. Okay, 回音猜回音 Okay, yeah.
Okay, Sayaji. 1.6, the channel ground contemplations. 1. Furthermore, suppose a medicine were to see a corpse discarded in a channel ground, and it had been dead for 1, 2, or 3 days, bloated, livid, and festering. Note: cremation was expensive and not available to everyone. Bodies might be left in the channel ground for a variety of reasons, such as local customs, lack of funds, or in cases of inauspicious death, such as murder or execution. This is still seen in some places today, and monastics occasionally take the opportunity to practice meditation beside a corpse. However, the wording of the Pali sounds like an imaginative exercise. They compare it with their own body. The observed corpse is not Janet. The purpose is not to become repulsed by an objectified other, but to understand the mortality of one's own body. This body is also of the same nature. Same kind, and cannot go beyond that. And so they meditate, observing an aspect of the body internally. That too is how a medicine meditates, by observing an aspect of the body.
Okay, so this is a contemplation of corpse channel ground, because last time people throw the corpse at the ground without bury them, without burying them, so you can see the corpse blotted, vivid, festering. Yeah. So what's the purpose? It's also to see asubha. It's also, we call it, this is also a kind of asubha practice. Like just now, you want to see the body parts, it's also asubha. 32 body part also asubha. This is asubha, but this asubha is outside. It's not internal, okay? This is more external, right? So external. So earlier on, we see the 32 body parts. Okay, the 1.4. This is also asubha, but this is internal. You see this as part of your body. Sometimes we need to have two. Sometimes we see outside asubha. Sometimes we see our own internal asubha. All right. The purpose is to let go the craving. Because sometimes we cling to our body so much, it's impossible to see But when you see a person with physical eyes, how they die, we might believe that one day our body has a mortality just like that, same nature, same kind. So that's why the Pali is very nice. This body is of that same nature, that same kind, cannot go beyond that. Because nobody can go beyond aging, sickness, and death, right? Nobody will live for it. Okay, now some more 2 and 3. Okay, so next person. Okay, Subha, yes.
Good morning, Sergey. Thank you. Furthermore, suppose they were to see a corpse discarded in a charnel ground, being devoured by crows, hawks, vultures, herons, hounds, tigers, leopards, jackals, and many kinds of little creatures. They compared it with their own body. This body is also of that same nature, that same kind, and cannot go beyond that. And so they meditate observing an aspect of the body internally. That too is how a mendicant meditates, by observing an aspect of the body. Continue.
Yeah.
Furthermore, suppose they were to see a corpse discarded in a charnel ground, a skeleton with flesh and blood, held together by sinews, a skeleton without flesh, but smeared with blood and held together by sinews, a skeleton rid of flesh and blood, held together by sinews, bones rid of sinews, scattered in every direction, here a hand bone, there a foot bone, here an ankle bone, there a shin bone, here a thigh bone, there a hip bone, here a rib bone, there a backbone, here an arm bone, there a neck bone, here a jaw bone, there a tooth, here the skull. White bones, the color of shells, discrepit bones, heaped in a pile. Bones rotted and crumbled to powder. It takes decades for bones to rot to powder. Again, suggesting it as an imaginative contemplation. They compare it with their own body. This body is also of that nature, that same kind, and cannot go beyond that. And so they meditate, observing an aspect of the body internally, externally, and both internally and externally. With respect to the body, they meditate, observing the liability to originate, to vanish, and to originate and vanish. On mindfulness is established that the body exists to the extent necessary for knowledge and mindfulness. They meditate independent, not grasping at anything in the world. That too is how a mendicant meditates, by observing an aspect of the body.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So here up to this part, it takes for decades. Now this one should put under the note. All right. So up to this means that there are 9 stages, right? So the first stages is 2 days and 3 days later. So after the body being bloated, vivid, festering. Then after that, you discard. After discard, then the animals, not because of the smell of the rotten corpse. So those animals, you'll be surprised. They like the smell. Crows, they like the rotten things. They come and eat. Okay. Then the moment you see it, you compare. Your body is like this same, of the same nature, same kind. Cannot go beyond that. Okay, that means that we see the asubha not only in our body, 32 body part as asubha, but when we have the opportunity to see the dead body of others with our physical eyes, so we also come to same conclusion. One day our body will be like this, will be discarded, no use, So we have to kind of like imagine our body like that. So after that, after some time, it's only what happened? Left the bone, skeleton only. There's some little bit blood. Okay. Then after a while, only skeleton, without the flesh, but a little bit blood only. Then only skeleton, right? Then it will be scattered everywhere. Then there will be bones, and after many years, the bone will be rotten. Okay, now actually this is not easy to meditate because first you don't have corpse. There's one thing. Of course, now go for what silent mental, right? You might see the corpse. I never go for silent mental course, but I never see the corpse yet. But I will say it's not easy to meditate because first you difficult to find a corpse, and even you have to find a corpse, how are you going to get these 9 stages? Okay, 9 stages. How the decomposition of the corpse or how the corpse will get decayed, because nowadays everything is burned, cremation, right? The whole body is cremated. Even Myanmar, most of the monks, unless they request, but most of the monks, nuns, or everybody in Myanmar go for cremation. So not that something we can practice, but the key point is same. Yes, you ought to observe the internal, external. Internally, externally, you meditate, try to see condition, how it vanish, arise, and mindfulness establish that there is only body exists. Now this sentence, tikayo, that's body exists, means at this point we see the body as a body. Don't cling to I or mind. Just see it's a material thing, just like happen to the body of other people, or our body also subject to condition, just like tree and flowers and so on. That's why we necessary for the knowledge and mindfulness. And then by doing this, you don't grasp anything in the world, right? That's how you observe the body. Okay, I think we will stop here. Now, any questions about this part? Anything you want to ask? We will stop at 10:30, then we go for meditation up to 11:15. After session, we start at 2 again. All right. Any question about this part? So literally, when we do the kaya nupassana, so we have to focus on the body first, because our body is gross. When the body is gross, the object is very clear, obvious. So when the mind take on very clear and obvious object, it is easier to let go. Like when you see the body is impurity, you cannot just don't understand, because it really present your mind, your urine, your feces, your snot, your saliva, or whatever. You can see the nature of it already. Okay, so that's why it say when the object is very gross, it's actually easier to practice. All right, no question. We will just do our meditation now. So we will start to meditate. You can observe your breathing meditation, or you can observe 4 great elements. Means that when the body has hardness, softness, heaviness, that belong to earth. Or body is a very warm and hot, belong to fire. Or you feel sweat, or you feel very sticky, or belong to water. Okay, so we can start meditation now. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.